Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I are playing KULT Divinity role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. The campaign is The Black Madonna. It's available from Helmgast. I am the Game Master, and this is episode 19. The recap will be given by David Gasaway as his character, Dietrich Zimmerman. So without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. David?
Dear Selma, another letter I'll never send. I miss you. After Andrei popped Grigorovich, we released the prisoners he had been experimenting on at Slava, the ones that weren't dead and on ice. We turned everything over to Silvanova, who advised us to change hotels. Ingolf projected his consciousness into the air base and got the lay of the land, fortunately. It was a little after 2 a.m. when they came for us. It was Andrei, of course, who woke up, if he was even sleeping. He roused the rest of us, and we looked for a way out of the hotel, but there was none. There were so many soldiers. So we took a snort of vodka and waited for them. At Colonel Roman Leskov's command, the soldiers took us to the air base and locked each of us in a separate cell, but we met up in the dream world. We summoned Nigel Harcombe into our dream, hoping he could clue us in, but all he really told us was that it was he who had ratted us out, as I expected. Then Andrei was woken and interrogated, pointlessly. They beat him. Leskov's plan was to question us and then turn us over to General Strelkov at Missile Base F3, north of Moscow. Desperately, Ingolf summoned Silvanova into the dream and managed to bind the lictor, Silvanova, to agree to send her KGB officer, Ilya Kopov, to release us from our cells. Not before Petra and I were questioned and beaten. But he did come, and thanks to Ingolf's knowledge of the base, we managed to escape into the night. We have to debrief Silvanova again, and we will be going to Missile Base F3, but happily not as prisoners. Not yet.
All right. Leave missile base is M13. F3 was the Air Force base that you were on. Okay. So you've returned and located Colonel Silvanova, and you've given her the evidence that you found in the Air Force base. She says you've done the marvelous job. This will give us enough evidence to where we can actually move against them if we need to. It is, yes, most likely that General Strelkov will be at the missile base. The missile base being located a few hundred kilometers outside of Moscow. The difficulty will be in getting into that facility. But you understand that General Strelkov cannot be arrested. Unfortunately, you know the reasons why. He's not what he seems to be. If you're willing to go there, it's only because I need to ask, because you are aware of what is going on. My own men, even if I send them with you, will not have a clue as to what they are getting themselves into once they are there. If Strelkov is indeed the incarnate, everything is going to be warped around him, as you are familiar with being an incarnate of Chigilio. Let me pull in my man, the one who rescued you, Ilya. And he comes in. He says, we need to strategize what is the best way to get into the missile base. Of course, if you try to go in from the top, we could send troops with you. but I think your chances of getting into a heavily fortified military complex are very slim, and it may provoke them. I'm sure General Strelkov has his fingers on the buttons that could launch missile attacks against every, major city in Russia. What do you think? And Ilya says, well, tactically, probably the best thing would be to go through the missile launch exhausts. There are a number of tunnels that go for a couple of miles outside of the city, kilometers, that lead all directly into the base. They're mostly for the exhaust of the missiles when they launch, but they will be cleared. You will be able to get in to the lowest level, and probably covert. There's not likely going to be people in those tunnels. We know what at least one of the entrances is. They're quite hidden, but it's a lot to ask of you.
Well, those of us with these have very little to lose.
I am more than capable.
We just have to be sure that we're not in the missile exhaust tunnel when he launches a missile.
That's true. I don't think that he will move that quickly.
I think they're still preparing whatever they're doing in Leningrad, so...
Yes, so that sort of brings up Leningrad. I myself, this is Savilanova speaking. She says, this is true. I myself have to travel to Leningrad to see what the extent is going on there. We have our own problems. We don't know enough information yet. But we'll set up a rendezvous point. You and Ilya can do that, so that if we accomplish what we need to, and I will be sending in troops. It's just perhaps we can send the troops in on the surface so that you have a clear move from the base. We can coordinate that. But of course, I don't want Strelkov hitting the buttons and launching the missiles. If you can find a communication way to tell us once Strelkov is out of the way, then our breach of the missile base will be easier and more complete.
I'm sure we can figure out a line of communication.
Ilya will be going with you, as will a number of troops.
I feel, we had a way to contact you from a great distance, in a dream space, but I don't know.
This is true. You're dismissed, Ilya. We'll be with you in a moment. Can you anticipate any other difficulties we may have with this wizard fellow you were speaking of? Harkom.
He said he's going to be waiting in Leningrad for the liberation.
He may be more involved in all of this than we originally thought, at least from what you've told us.
The extent to which he denied having any interest in these goings-on suggests that he has substantial interest in what's going on.
Oh, and from the dream visions that I think John had, Harcombe knew the three orphans who were carrying the incarnates when they were adults.
Right. Yeah,
we have to find a most complete way of preventing this from ever happening again. There was, according to Bishop Chizenko, there was an opportunity to destroy Chigiriel's machinations back in the siege of Leningrad. And that opportunity was forsaken. You may have to act in a manner that is quite unfeeling, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
This comes easier to my kind than it does to your kind. Anyway, if you need anything, I think that you should rest for a day, and we will set it up so that we can take you to the facility's secret entrance.
Is there perhaps a safe house or something outside of the city proper? I wouldn't want Leskov's people to find us again.
Yes, we have a number of places we can place you to make sure that is safe.
I would like a few extra weapons just to keep my comrades safe.
Work with Lieutenant Ilya Topov, and he will provide for you what you need.
Very good.
I would like to use my forbidden inspiration to peer into the missile base. Try to find out where exactly Strelkov is. I mean, being in an incarnate, that's going to be, it probably will not be that difficult to find through such a method.
Okay. Oh, you're going to do that. You need your typewriter and stuff, right?
I just need to write.
Well, you need to write. Well, she'll dismiss you, and you'll be with Ilya. And from there, he'll get you to a safe place. We'll just move along to that. He gets you to a safe place, and he tells you that probably by tomorrow afternoon, he'll be prepared. Everything will be ready, and then in the evening you can sneak in so that nobody notices. Okay, so we're there. Now you can use your abilities.
That is a 10. Bear, yeah, 10. So that I get one option, and that option I'm going to see through the illusion into a specific place of my choice, which will be the missile base.
Okay. So your vision plays out like this. You're high in the air, and you're looking down, and there seems to be a kind of a spider web that stretches out in all directions. And as you move towards the center of the spider web, it is this facility, missile base. You can tell that it's multi-leveled. In fact, you can count that you can see there are 6 levels in the building. It's almost as if the place was semi-transparent, that you're looking at it. And everything seems normal on the outer edge of the missile base. But there is a focal point in the center where things get darker, and it's almost like a black hole in the center of the whole thing that seems to be just sucking the energy out of everything around it. And you begin to see the faces of young boys. And the boys seem blank-faced, like there's nothing there, or they're in some sort of trance. And they're all dressed in perfectly fitted little military uniforms. And they're all surrounding this black, sucking void in the center. And just by inference of looking at it, you think that it's somewhere around the middle of the facility, maybe level 3 or 2, somewhere in there. And you can hear screaming, and that's about when you wake up. you don't suffer any ill effects from it. You seem to have grasped your ability to do this.
All right.
What kind of
I
uniform?
think he's on the third level, but there's some horrifying ritual activity. Very, very strange.
I suppose the inhumane activities that Silvanova is preparing us for are the murder of a bunch of robotic boy soldiers. I mean, not robotic, unfortunately. Flesh and blood.
They are dressed up like, if you know anything now about the military in Russia, and you probably do, you'd say they were legionnaires. Kind of a mockery of because usually legionnaires are older, but these are all boys. They look like they're maybe 10 or 11 years old at the most.
And a couple dozen of them?
Yeah, at least.
It's better for them to not suffer if nothing else, Dietrich, right?
Yeah. We might even be able to prevent them from being marked the way we are.
Anyone else want to do anything? Preparations you want to make?
Andre got the extra weapons he wanted.
Yes.
Yes. It will be a
You
nice.
guys can all have weapons if you want.
A scoped sniper rifle for later. You never know.
I am, in fact, terrible at using weapons, but I might as well have a
Something.
pistol.
Something
have my
to
side.
shoot.
Have my side on. I will have a suppressed submachine gun as well. It's the only thing I'm good at, so I might as well have
I'm more likely to
yeah.
shoot myself.
all the weapons I can.
I think a handgun is probably a good idea, and maybe some grenades. You don't really need much skill to throw something that goes boom.
Just get your timing right, hold the pin, throw the grenade pretty much as soon as you do that.
Make sure you throw the grenade, not the pin.
That too.
I'll probably just throw both, and that way I can't mess it up.
Yeah, but you remember to pull out first. Don't just lob a grenade to an enemy to throw back at us.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So, how many levels are underground?
The whole
Of the
facility
facility.
is basically underground.
6.
So all 6
Seem like
layers are
6.
beneath the surface. All right. Gee whiz. What was I doing a year ago?
I think you were
Why-
selling books.
Wiping the dust off some overpriced leather-bound volume of medieval nonsense. Those were the days.
Now you're
I
in
was-
my world.
Well, I used to write horror nonsense, but how
Now you
silly
get to
that
live
all
it.
seems now.
Sometime during the day or evening, there are delivered a number of camouflaged uniforms if you want to wear them.
Yep. That sounds like a
Can't
good idea.
hurt.
I will put camouflage on my sniper rifle as well. Because it will be on my back and I don't want it to stick out otherwise.
You were also sent a little hand drawing that Topov sent you. It shows that it shows basically the base in the center with 8 long tunnels going out, and he shows here's the town we're going to. You need to find that into tunnel entrance, and then he shows you kind of cross section of the tunnels. They're made out of cement. They're basically circular, except that there's a service tunnel next to the tunnel, next to the missile tunnel. There's tracks running the length of them where they can move stuff around. And there are fans that circulate air through the tunnels. So it's possible to actually be in the service tunnel or in the main tunnel, either one. But they all lead to the central facility where there may be activity. You might have to shoot your way in.
I'll be in the rear, thanks.
Don't worry, Dietrich. I will take the front. Don't you worry.
I guess I'll plan to be in the middle in case there's any supernatural entities.
All right.
Does it take anything in particular to kill something like Strelkov when he's in this plane, in this form?
I feel like the problem looking into the missile base, it's like he's not even here. It's like the direct reality around him has collapsed.
He could be pulling strings from sort of another plane down that hole.
So it could be that when we encounter him, it will be like the previous one, where we have more, the environment is malleable in a sense. But I don't know.
Okay. So you all sleep. I don't know if you sleep well, probably not.
Depends on the drugs available.
The next day, things are kind of quiet for a while, and eventually, sometime in the late afternoon, a truck pulls up outside, and Lieutenant Ilya Topov gets out and comes and collects you.
How's his demeanor?
He is very much a soldier, and he is a follower of General Selenova. So you're pretty sure he doesn't know what she is. He's only seeing the human. He is a KGB officer, and in his mind, this general has lost his mind, and he's trying to lead a coup against the country and take it over and return it to royal, czarist.
Reactionaries.
Right.
Mr. Topov, I don't suppose you've had the opportunity to see the film Dr. Strangelove.
Oh, yes, I like this movie very much. It's a comedy, though. Yes.
Yes, a dark, dark comedy. But I guess that's roughly the situation we have here. We're trying to get this general out before he starts blowing things up.
Well, yes, but I don't think that he is attempting to create a world war. I think he is simply trying to create a civil war, Russia against Russia, and return it to the old ways. I myself am not entirely unsympathetic to the idea of going back to the Tsarist world, but we have been taught 1,000 times in school that it was barbaric. It was a system that favored a few people over the most people. And while the Tsar and his family lived in palaces, which you can visit and see how incredibly splendorous they were, the rest of the people suffered. And I know that they have a lot of propaganda about the difficulties that communist Russia has had in the Soviet Union. Every government has problems.
Certainly true. How many troops are coming with?
We have 30 men that are coming with us.
What do we know of if the missile base were operating normally, how many personnel would there be?
Oh, that is somewhat difficult to say. Perhaps 100 people that are there.
Okay.
Most of them will be very close to the surface.
Probably mostly technicians.
The main control station is on the third level. So you can think that the farther down into the facility you go, the less people will be there. They'll also be less important. You'll find your military people mostly towards the top and the service people mostly towards the bottom. I don't want that to influence you, that the people, when we get there, may not be what you would consider soldiers, but at the same time, they are still serving this, serving the facility.
Yeah, it's all the rats in a nest are rats after all.
This is a good saying. I like that. All right. Well, we are ready to go. We are going to arrive in the small town just after sunset. And then we have to locate the exact tunnel entrance. It should be a cement, what looks like a cement culvert that becomes a tunnel. There may be a metal barricade, or what do you say, like a grating that we'll have to get through in order to get to the tunnel. And then after that, it should be more or less empty, unless they are already moving missiles around. But I don't think that's the case. In which case, we'll have to use this small service tunnel next to it to sneak in covertly. So let's go. So off you go. And the drive there it's a lot of anticipation, that sort of electrical sort of feeling you have when you're nervous energy as you're approaching a dangerous place. Has your little KGB friend suddenly disappeared into the ether? I don't see him any longer.
Master of disguise, he's just blurred in with the back of the van.
Let's pause for a second. I didn't notice that he'd gone.
Or he inadvertently discharged that weapon at last and blew his nose off.
One of our main poisonous spiders is being supplanted. That's the Black Widow. They're slowly but surely being supplanted by brown widows, which are more or less harmless to humans.
You've mentioned that. It's kind of like the ladybug takeover.
Yeah.
Our red ladybirds are being replaced by brown ones.
I think isn't it the Black Widow kind of has like a bigger, badder rep than is really deserved. I don't know.
Well, it's poison. Latrodectus mactans poison is quite potent if you get bitten. However, they don't hang out in places that you're likely to get bitten. They hide in little corners and up under in the dark. So unless you stick your hand up in there and fiddle around, you're not likely to get bitten.
Their webs are quite unique.
Yeah.
It's thoughtful of them.
So
they have an extremely interesting way of catching food.
Aha, your turn.
Lives.
They if you look at them
under, you up too bad.
The dog escaped.
Ooh.
That makes sense.
We thought the spiders got you and you were wrapped up on the floor screaming.
No, I had to quickly run.
Okay. I didn't write down what we were just talking about. So let's start.
We're talking about the tunnels.
Yeah.
He was asking, where has our KGB agent gone while we're in the back of the van?
I have escaped.
Right. Well, we can skip ahead to you guys arriving in the town. All right. So you arrive in the town. It's a small village. you don't stop in the town itself. You go onto the outskirts. There are a number of farms in the distance, and it seems like you stop in the middle of nowhere, and everybody gets out. And after a hike of maybe 300 feet or so into the fields, there is suddenly this cement, small culvert, a little channel cut in the field, and then there is a circular tunnel with a grate over the top of it, and there is a small one next to it that you could. That's the service tunnel. So they figure. Ilya says we can get in through the service tunnel, and then there should be access doors into the main tunnel. So, in fact, that is exactly what you do. And he has 20 or so soldiers going ahead of you, and then 10 following behind, with you in the middle. It will be easier to move in the large tunnel. And in the large tunnel, you can smell, it's kind of a hollow smell right near the entrance. There's nothing really in there. But as you go along, you can smell the smell of diesel and industrial sorts of smells that smell like gasoline and so forth in the air.
And I guess we have headlamps?
You probably have flashlights.
Flashlights.
As you go along, you do start to notice that, because you've got a few kilometers to go, you do start to notice that there seems to be some activity that's been going on in the tunnels. There are some boxes, there have been things that they're moving. There are tracks in the center of the tunnel specifically for, like, you imagine like in a mine tunnel, how you've got the carts so that they can move stuff back and forth. These are for moving missiles back and forth. I imagine they may be preparing, for some sort of an attack very soon to begin their campaign, especially now since they believe that somebody has probably, they've gotten the news probably already that something has happened at Slava.
All right.
There are also electrical cables and things like that, heavily shielded, that are up above. But as you move down, you notice that the soldiers ahead of you begin to act more nervous. They oftentimes, put up the hand to have everybody stop. Everybody stops, and everybody goes quiet. Everybody listens. You think maybe way off in the distance you can hear some sort of machinery. But they're becoming far more nervous. You can hear them whispering to one another. More nervous than you'd expect from soldiers who are just in an empty tunnel.
I am speaking Russian to the one in front of me. Are you okay? I whisper to him. You okay?
Just, don't you see it?
See what?
The way everything seems to be changing. There, look at the power cables. Aren't they fatter? Aren't they larger than they were before? Like, they are more like snakes than they are like electrical cables.
I'd like to try to observe a situation, if I may. Let's see if there's anything in particular to their anxiety, or maybe it's been caused by some external. 11 plus 2 is 13. That gives me some clarity.
Well, you smell nothing in the air, but when he says that about the cables and you're looking at them, you're right on the verge of that sort of perception where you think you could be tricking yourselves into seeing it, but are they writhing just a little bit, as if they were some sort of snake or tentacle?
Can I use enhanced awareness?
I was just thinking the same thing.
15.
Yeah. What does that allow you? That allows you to see more clearly what's going on.
With 15 plus, you can discern clear details regarding the location. It's kind of like a rather than like see through the illusion where you have to be stressed or injured to see through it normally. This is kind of I'll do it whenever I want.
You're pretty sure that what is happening is that as you are getting closer to the main facility, reality is warping just a little bit. If you imagine something like maybe the tunnel isn't really quite round, you start to notice that it isn't quite round, and the cables are writhing, and the doors leading into the service tunnel seem to be a lot more, I don't know, steampunkish, and big bolts on them. And the ground, is it moist? Are you walking on like moist, bizarre, sort of, is that like the surface of a tongue? And this is throwing all of the soldiers off because they don't know. So they think they're hallucinating.
I'll say to the person who drove us here, whose name escapes me.
Volkov.
Volkov. I will say.
I'm sorry, Topov. Topov was
Topov. Sorry. I'll say to him, and very quietly, very gently, my friend, there was a reason why Selenova was going to have you and your comrades wait until the 5 of us were done with the first stage. Perhaps it will be better for you and your men if you wait down the tunnel for a while.
Do you think they are releasing some sort of hallucinogen into the air, perhaps? I am starting to notice myself that things seem to be wavy and shimmery as we approach.
Yes, I fear from what we've gathered, it will probably only get worse from here on out. But myself and my companions have been exposed to it before and are accustomed to it, so we'll be able to proceed unhindered. I fear that you and your men won't be able to help us until we can get it cleared up.
Okay. Well, we will wait here then. If we hear any noise of gunfire, we shall proceed forward. I will warn my men to let them know that there may be some sort of hallucinogen in the air, and to ignore anything that looks strange. Obviously, the cables can't be snakes. That's nonsense. But if they, we'll deal with it when the time comes. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Excellent. See you soon, Topop.
So you continue down the tunnel, but even you are seeing the same sort of thing. It becomes stranger. The walls seem to be breathing, and if this was a hallucination, this would be the kind of nasty trip that you'd have on the wrong kind of drugs. But eventually, you begin to see light up ahead. You can see the entrance, the tunnel exits into a large room. How do you want to approach?
Well, I am leading the way.
I think Andre and Petra are first, and I am behind.
Yes.
I have my submachine gun out, silenced, because I make sure everything gets silenced. And I am going to cautiously approach. I will check the doorway for any traps. You never know. Pesky Russian people. And I will cautiously enter.
I assume we're going through the service tunnel as we enter the facility, because otherwise we might walk into the back of a missile and not a room.
Yes.
Okay. So in that case, when you slip through the door into this small service tunnel, do you realize that although it was probably the right move to make to be more covert, the service tunnel itself begins to feel very much like you're in a throat. And it has, what are they called? You know, sort of undulations. Peristaltic, yeah. Which, and it starts to look more and more like flesh, like glistening flesh.
On the plus side, if we're in the throat, we've already got past the teeth, so small.
And at least we're not in the stomach.
Yeah.
We might be going toward the teeth. But have you seen the American movie Videodrome? I don't like it. Whatever Strelkov is doing, it's really warping this place. Oh, maybe
as I said, he's like a singularity that's crushing reality.
We just be cautious. That is all we can do.
So as you move forward, you're coming closer and closer to the entrance. You can see that disregarding the warping of reality, that basically you are in the sub basement of the facility, level 6. There are indications on the walls that this is level 6, though the lettering sometimes shifts and you can't read it. It looks like ancient runes, but sometimes it looks like level 6. The room, the facility down here, it's a large area, and you can see that there are other tunnels leading out of the area. There are a number of storage shelves and things like that, parts. There are numerous carts that are in the center. These are large carts for moving missiles. And there are a number of missiles in here to one side that seem to be that they're servicing them or something and getting them ready. There are a number of people in here that are in fact working, and they look strange. I mean, you'd almost think zombie, except that they don't look like they're dead. They're moving around. They're obviously doing things. You can also see that there are 2 guards, and the 2 guards are wearing black berets and uniforms, and they're standing in the center of the room, back to back, and sort of preternaturally unmoving, just standing there rigidly. You don't even see them blinking. What do you want to do?
This is what Grigorovich and Harpcombe were working on. I think Andre and Petra, you should.
Well, how far away? From us? How far away are they?
I'd say about 30 feet.
No, I can't justify using my sniper. I could, but because I have a special skill with that that could take both of them out with one fucking shot. But
I'm not even sure you'll have to bother with the laborers. They might. It's such an ant colony.
React.
They might not even.
I guess just I've got a silenced weapon. I could probably.
Necessary. That doesn't mean completely quiet. I'm worried about drawing more attention to us.
But these are zombie
I have a feeling that Strelkov is already gonna know that we're here. Incarnate. I mean, we're walking around with.
And I don't think we can. I don't think we can split them up because they are so.
But I mean, silenced weapons will hopefully not agitate the brainwashed individuals.
Just pop the guards and we'll move on. We're in a hurry. We've got the Legionnaires to fight.
Let's do it.
I
Would you
will.
like us to roll, Tom, or
Yeah, Andrea will need to roll. Are you both going to shoot?
yes?
And I will pop off I will get ready to pop off a second bullet in case Peck.
Okay, why don't you guys both roll?
That is 15.
15.
What did you get, Petra?
15.
Oh,
we
you both got 15. So, and both of the guards, without really even flinching, they just both drop to the ground with bullets through their heads. The techies, the engineers that are working, they don't even react. They just continue doing what they're doing.
We could steal their uniforms, Peck.
And there's only 2 of them.
Too
but
much
I'm not
time.
mad at that
It's
idea.
too much time.
You're right, though. Ingolf's right.
Yeah, too much time. It's just it was a passing thought.
All right. So,
Let's keep
are
moving.
you going in?
Yes.
All right. You go in rather stealthily, hanging close to the walls, moving in. Nothing happens. I mean, these people seem to be more or less, like you say, brainwashed. And they're just meticulously going and doing whatever job they're supposed to be doing. They don't turn, they don't look at you or anything like that. There is not an elevator. There is a staircase going up to a door, which was probably up at level 5. And once again, this room is strange. It's obviously being warped by Shigidio's energy being funneled through the incarnate. So you have to kind of keep yourselves. You guys can do a sanity roll.
Keep it together.
Keep it together.
Woo! 14 plus 3, 17.
14.
What'd you get, John?
13.
I mean, Matt?
10.
Okay. Did anybody fail?
No, I got an
Nobody failed.
11, so I'm in the.
Okay. So since none of you failed and you guys have experienced this before, you don't take any mental damage, but it is spooky and scary. And when you step on things like the stairs going up, there's a little squish to them that's just disgusting, and it feels like flesh. Though you can see clearly that it's not; it's metal. All right. So you get up through the to the door into the 5th level. What do you want to do? What about my microphone?
It's a long story.
Oh,
Yeah, I think we're moving forward in formation. The one good thing about this bad trip is that it makes me feel less bad about shooting things, because I think this place will return to normal after we clean it out. And I would like to step on, a nice clean stainless steel tread instead of this cartilage bullshit.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes. I will continue to take the lead, so wherever you want to go next, you will go.
okay. The stairs, you went up the stairs, you're in front of the door. You open the door and you're immediately hit by a blast of ice cold air coming from inside. The hallway ahead of you as you look into it is long. It's got fluorescent lighting, but the lighting is sparking and it's not very solid. It looks almost like broken cables that are hanging down from holes in the ceiling that look like they are live electrical cables, and they are sparking when the sort of blast of cold air is flowing through this part of the facility. The floors seem to be covered in black oil and other things. You're not sure what they are, but you can see that there is another staircase at the end of the facility. So what do you want to do? There are rooms and doors and hallways and stuff going off between here and there.
It's cold. I finally feel at home.
Time is of the essence, but are the doors on the passage, do they have windows in them?
They aren't. They're cold, very similar gray steel with overly large rivet bolts in them, and very nightmarish.
Should we look in one of these?
I don't think we should get distracted. We
I
need
think
to
it's best to
just
move
the
on
mission.
for now.
Yeah.
Get the incarnate and then figure out what's left.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Don't like it.
Yes.
Some of the rooms seem to have noises coming from them. One in particular has what sounds like a large generator, maybe providing electricity to the facility. But you can't see. There are no windows. You move on then, going towards the stairs.
It would have been useful to take out power, but we don't know. Don't want to take it.
It's also nice to not have to have a flashlight in one hand while trying to
True. It's
defend
harder for us,
oneself.
too. Yeah.
I am used to it, but I see where you're coming from.
All right. You get to that set of stairs, and as you are about halfway up the stairs, you can hear noise on the area above. For some reason, the temperature seems to have changed. It is not as cold as it was going up these stairs, but you hear marching, maybe 2 or 3 people marching. You can hear them moving away from you and then eventually moving back towards you. It sounds like guards moving around.
Seems
I
like
guess we wait at the door for them to be going away from us.
Okay.
And open it.
Yes.
Okay. This level seems to be some sort of I almost think a medical facility. In this case, there are walls that have glass windows looking into rooms, but from the stairs, it's more or less a straight line to the next set of stairs. This is level 4 that you are on. You can hear people screaming. Sounds like they're being tortured. And because it's a straight line, you can see there are 4 guards, in fact, 2 in front, 2 in behind. They're marching in formation away from you at the moment, but in a few minutes, they will turn and come marching back towards you. They will certainly see you.
I doubt that.
You'll be very quick.
Time to take care of them.
How many
well, I should also say the floor in here seems to be like that metal grating. So unless you're tiptoeing, you're going to make noise as you.
How many of them were there again? Was there
4?
How far away are they from us?
At the moment, they're probably about 30 feet, and they're getting ready to. They'll turn within the next 10 seconds.
Andre, do you not have an advantage that just says kill everybody in my vision?
Well, I have lightning fast and weapon master and my sniper skill. I have many skills that could be useful right now, and I have silencers, but a silenced rifle just will still make a lot of noise.
It'll make a pop for sure. Yeah.
But over the sound of the screaming, are they going to hear?
but I think I could kill 2 with it using my sniper ability. So maybe more depending on what I roll.
Talk less, shoot more.
Yep, I agree.
So I guess I'm gonna get my sniper out of my back. I'll take a few.
Okay.
And I will shoot on my sniper skill, which I just need to find again to make sure.
Well, if he's going to be able to get 2 in one go, and there's 4, I'll take a shot as well.
Okay. Okay.
13 for me.
That is how much do I have? Okay. I got 16. Perks of having quite a bit in violence.
Okay. Just for the sake of the fun of it, I will say that Petra's bullet hits one guy in the back of the head. He goes down. Andres goes through the first guy into the second guy, and they both go down. And the final guy.
Well, there's a perk on my sniper that, because obviously if there's a target away, it can hit another target, so it could technically ricochet off something and hit the third target. It's quite broken.
I'd say in this case, the fourth guy has at least enough to sort of dive for cover when the other soldiers go down. He dives into a corridor on the side, and then on the ground, he's laying on the ground, and he comes back around to start shooting at you guys. And he fires.
Fair enough. I'll give him a little advantage.
I'll be behind the novelist.
I'm using the wrong guys.
Also behind cover somewhere.
Oh, you don't need to be behind cover.
I have a very distinct allergic reaction to lead, especially when it enters my body at high speed.
Yeah, you see, last time we were shot at, we were in Dietrich's bookstore, and my plan of just flattening myself as much as possible, I think, is my go-to move.
I think you took one of my favorite dictionaries out with that.
His shot goes astray. It just hits. It makes a clank on the metal. You try again?
Yes, hello, little birdie. Little birdie.
Well, he's not waiting. He's going to pull back before,
Okay, I rolled anyway.
Rolled a 2.
But hang on. Okay, no, I got 11, so I still get the shot. I still do the harm to him on that 11.
You hit him, and you don't kill him instantly, but you hear him, like this as he goes back. You can see things through the windows in this corridor. You can see in a couple of the rooms there are people that seem to be being tortured, but they seem to be somehow hooked up, like medically, to some sort of bizarre alien machines.
How many of these doors are there on this hallway?
There's maybe 6 doors down the hallway.
I think we can
They're
spare a few
large
moments to put these things out of their misery. It's probably feeding Strelkov, so we can justify it.
Yes, if you deal with that, I'm going to go finish off this little straggler.
Okay. I'll say that you easily can go up and just shoot him in the head.
I'm even going to be a dick and actually do it point blank with the sniper as well. I've had enough with the fuckers.
So you move. You're going to go into one of the rooms? Did you say?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, there are 4 people in this room. They seem to be strapped into this machine that seems to be electrocuting them. They also have tubes going into their arms and into their side that seem to be pumping them with some sort of greenish liquid. It looks like when you're looking at them that the pain and the electricity coursing through them should kill them. but somehow they're not dying. At the same time, in the same room, a little farther away, you see a number of these zomboid sort of people, completely indifferent to what's going on, completely indifferent to you coming in. They're standing around a large table, and they seem to be examining diagrams of something on the top of the table. What you guys want to do?
Shoot everything in here.
Okay. You so had the machine gun.
Yeah.
Andre?
Andre,
Yes, I have a machine gun, of course.
just
It is-
make quick work of it.
Okay, I'll go around.
Okay. You fire the machine gun, and you manage to connect with most of the bodies of the people that are in here, especially the ones that are strapped down and can't move. But one of the zomboids that you have hit, he crawls, he gets hit, but he crawls across the floor, and he reaches up and he grabs, there's an alarm on the wall.
Oh, shit.
And he pulls down on it, and a ringing sound like a old-fashioned fire alarm goes off.
I should have killed them with lightning fast.
Let's torn it.
This all happens very quickly, but what do you want to do in the room that you're here?
I still
Okay,
finish
go.
off the. I ain't leaving. I'm just gonna shoot him with
All
the pistol.
all he has time to do is pull the thing before he collapses on the floor.
Fuck.
I expect we'll be meeting the Legionnaires soon. Maybe we should choose a room and set up a sort of line of defense. Or I could start
Yes.
tossing grenades down the hall. I don't know.
I think
the
we
expert.
should get up to the 3rd floor.
We need to be quick, and we need to make sure we have an advantage against them because there could be many of them coming towards us.
All right.
We
Sorry, I
don't
made a
have
stop.
infinite amounts of ammo on us, so
No, I don't. I definitely do not have lots.
Yeah, I agree with Ingolf. I think we need to rush to our location.
As you're in here, do any of you look at the table
yeah,
to see what they were
schematics.
working
Yeah,
on?
what the hell are they looking at?
What they were looking at are schematics of the missiles themselves and modifications that they have been making to these missiles. A lot of it looks like alchemy. It looks like a mixture of technical drawings, electronics drawings, and something that looks very much like
It's like the payload
bizarre.
is an occult thing.
Yeah.
Very weird. Okay.
Good. What's the and I'm gonna check out what the green fluid was that was coming through the tubes.
You can't tell. It smells like rotten milk.
Yeah. Okay.
It seemed you guessed that it may have been somehow keeping them from dying.
Yeah.
So I'll take one of the schematics, and as we're going to the 3rd floor, hurriedly trying to fold it up so I can
Okay.
take it.
The alarm is going off. You can hear that something is being mobilized. You think you hear marching upstairs. You can hear it through the floors. And maybe because you've got it stuck in your imagination, but it's not particularly heavy. It doesn't sound like the marching of full-grown men.
Get out your kitty killers, friends.
Yes. Get ready.
So how are you going to proceed? What tactically are you going to do?
We're rushing for the 3rd floor, aren't we?
Do we want to let them come to us and pick them off? I'm not the tactician, but it seems
I
like
guess
they're on their way.
If the only noise of approach is from the upstairs, we could let them get into the stairwell and then throw a couple of grenades.
We have to be able to get up the stairs. We don't want to grenade them too much.
Well, I don't think that a frag grenade is going to destroy the stairs.
No,
it will be
won't.
the corpses.
I mean, if
Sure.
they're coming down the stairs in formation too, isn't it sort of like skeet shooting?
Yes. And I just read out lightning fast. I can engage in combat with everyone in like sight of me with a single attack. So
So I guess we're letting them come down the stairs and letting Andre and Grenade.
All right, so you guys are waiting at the bottom for them to come down the stairs.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to take this opportunity to go into each of the 6 torture chambers and just mop up. There's no reason to let those people suffer.
Okay.
And I'm not much of a fighter, but I can walk up to a zombie or someone strapped to a table.
Okay. In the case of most of the other rooms, there are only people strapped in. There are no people looking at things. I'd say that takes you no more than 3 minutes to clean up. But in the meantime, the marching sounds, it sounds like marching. They are in perfect step with one another's. March, 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 march. It gets closer and closer to the stairwell, and then you can hear the distinct sound of the boot hitting a metal stair. And it doesn't seem to slow. It doesn't seem to anything. It just is immediately clunk, 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 coming down. And what appears at the turn of the stairs are, in fact, boys. They look like they're 11. Their faces are dispassionate, just blank. They're dressed in uniforms. They have guns. And they immediately, when they turn the corner and they see you, the ones in front immediately turn their guns to shoot at you.
This is a moral decision, but I am a man of violence. I do not care. So I am going to, because the lightning fast. I'm going to move unexpectedly.
I'll shoot as well, just for some backup. Yeah.
Boy, I'm rolling awful.
I am hiding out of the way.
14, which I get 2 edges on it, so I will dodge out of the way if need be, and then I get my blinding, which is engaged in combat with any opponents I can see. So I can shoot. My attack counts against all the ones I can see.
Okay. I rolled a 5, so I'm not doing well at all. You begin mowing them down. We'll make it easy. You begin mowing them down. They don't seem to stop. They're not concerned for their dead. The dead fall. They continue marching and firing at the same time.
We create a wall of dead bodies.
Kind of, yeah. None of their shots connect. They're shooting into the walls, they're shooting into the ground, they're shooting into the ceiling, but they don't seem to be connecting at all. And you mow down 6 of them, and the noise stops.
I do as a respect to them. You've got to respect the dead. They are young boys.
I think you need to keep it together, because these are boys, and you're thinking enslaved. They must be enslaved somehow.
9.
It's not their fault.
I got a 10, so I am barely keeping it together.
9, so I'm not really keeping it together.
Yeah, if you didn't do well, I think that you're extremely disturbed by what you've seen. What do we take?
The thing is, I was a boy when I joined the military service, so I know.
You can choose which how you want to deal with that. Get angry or get
guilt-ridden, I think. Just all of these children.
Yes, I'm angry because I know how it is. I know it is, and I shouldn't have to do it, but I know that they wouldn't have stopped because I would have been like that when I was a child. So I punch a wall. And I look at it and go, this is why you must stay off your drugs and alcohol. You cannot.
I don't know what you mean. This is precisely why I drink.
I just don't want any harm. I don't want any harm to come to you. You are like a child to me. I had no choice with them, but I have a choice to save you, Ingolf. And if I have to give my life for you, Ingolf, I will.
So where are the rest of the kids, guys?
There'll be more on their way.
Do we hear any more people?
You don't.
It only took 6 for them to figure out that the stairs were not going to work.
Or they only dispatched 6, assuming they would take care of us.
I have a feeling
the alarm is still going on, though.
We move on very quickly.
The problem with alarms is they're not very clear directionally speaking.
I don't think this
could
facility.
We just move on. We move
keep
on.
Moving, keep an ear. Yeah. Listen.
I will have to if we run into, but I do not particularly want to kill any more children.
Do you think there's another stairwell to 3? Because the other 24 Legionnaires might be standing up there and they have taken time to aim.
I don't think we have time to wander the facility.
I don't know they're that intelligent.
No, they are only kids. They are learning. They want.
I'm picturing a desk-sized board with a little red light bleeping on where the alarm was pulled. So they probably have some primitive idea of
right. But I mean, these ones just charged right into machine gun fire without stopping. So I don't know why
they're just meant to be cannon fodder. That's just all they are.
Yeah, the incarnates. The things with Chigediel don't seem to value life very much.
Understatement. All right, well, I'll follow. There weren't any other engineers in the other rooms. It was just more victims.
All right. So you're going to move up the stairs. You cautiously move up the stairs. You turn the corner and you look up. There's nobody there. But what you're seeing doesn't look like the facility anymore. The walls are definitely flesh and they are writhing. The floor has become a deep grating that you think you can see things through, like the old labyrinth when you were in the other place. It feels like you're still walking through air, but it also feels sluggish, like you're having to wade through the air as you move forward. Go ahead.
The space is so odd that I want to try one of the dream powers. I want to conjure, like, I don't know, like I'm wearing rain boots, like if I'm trudging through something.
Okay. You try to concentrate, you try to do that, but you very quickly realize this isn't a dream. Okay. Which maybe that's not such a great thing to realize, that this is not a dream. This is something that is reality itself is being warped and changed.
Okay.
You make your way to the top of the stairs, and the length, the corridor, you know that the control room is here somewhere, and the shape of the corridor is different, that it definitely leads to multiple things on this level, but you get a distinct feeling, at least from the geography of the room, of the level, that in the middle is going to be where the control room door is, and that it's most likely going to be on your right hand side the way you're moving. But the length of the passage itself seems to be changing as you're looking at it. First, it's very long, and then it's short, and then it makes you very disoriented, like you're going to lose your balance if you don't hold on to something. You put your hands against the walls to keep from falling over, and realize that your fingers are sort of sinking into the flesh of the wall. And everything smells acrid, like burnt engine oil, and just very acidic. You can feel it burn a little bit in your nose as you move forward.
Gastric juices.
Yeah, but you don't see any people in the corridor.
I think I'd like to turn to the right and try to see through the illusion. I might be able to see the thing in its nest.
Okay.
And that might help us organize. 11, 14.
For a moment, it is like you are inside of a body, and the heart is up ahead of you where the control room is. And the thing that is beating in that room is a person. It's that same person that you've already seen now. The guy in the dreamlands, the guy who was three people when you murdered the incarnates. It's definitely the incarnate that's here. It seems to be functioning as something. It's not walking about as a general or anything like that. It seems to be stationary and absorbing energy of some sort. But there are antibodies in this thing, and they are those little boys. And there are quite a few of them on this level that you can sort of sense, especially surrounding the general.
Mm-hmm. Surrounding the general, a little phalanx, and then some moving toward us, perhaps.
You don't see anything moving towards you yet.
Right. So I'm regurgitating that as I experienced it.
Oh, well, I'm out of ammo on my machine gun. My last encounter.
Well, there's plenty of machine guns down from the dead Legionnaire children.
That is true.
You hear somewhere on this level what sounds like an elevator. So far, you haven't encountered an elevator, but this sounds like a big industrial, what are they, not industrial, a service elevator, a freight elevator somewhere on this level that is descending, possibly carrying a lot more soldiers.
I wonder if our backup is coming yet. We were
must have
firing silent-ish for a while.
Yes, but I'm gonna be honest.
I don't think they're gonna be much use. I think they're gonna lose their minds.
Yeah, all of them are downstairs going.
Most likely. And they would have been here by now. They would have heard the sniper go off. Doesn't matter about if it was silenced or not. They're still going to hear it in an enclosed space.
But I mean, we are up several levels, and they were down and way out. Like,
this is true. Who knows?
I would have
But
hoped
we need
the
to
alarm
go.
would have
I think we
drawn
need to
them,
go right
but-
for the
The-
heart, as you
I
described
think-
it.
Yeah, the
That's
good
possible,
news is
but-
that Strelkov isn't even operating as a person. He's operating as something else. So he's probably not mobile.
We just go. I will pick up a couple of extra magazines, I guess. I have my pistol anyway with ammo, and I have the sniper still.
Do we have eyes on the elevator, or we just hear it somewhere?
You just hear it somewhere, but it's got that sort of distinct elevator
Like-
descending.
Yeah.
We need to be quick.
Yeah.
Really
th-
quick.
Double time now.
So going to the heart. That is where we're going.
Yep.
Okay. As you take a few steps in that direction in the hallway, you can feel the temperature visibly drop or physically drop. At first, it's just slightly uncomfortable, but then within a couple steps, you're pretty sure it's 10 below zero where you are. You also notice that your perception of the passageway seems to be changing as well. There suddenly are twists and turns and bends in it that remind you a great deal of the labyrinth that you saw down below. Why don't you do what would be appropriate? Survey the situation.
Observe, yeah.
Observe the situation.
Just a 12 for me, so I can ask one question. Is the hello, little friend. Where is the elevator from here? I guess is my question.
You don't think that it's close.
Okay.
Possibly exactly you've got the stairs. The elevator would be in the opposite direction across the facility.
And is the twistingness of the hallway, is that an illusion? Do we feel like this is an illusion? Is this really, is it getting harder to get to it, or is it just our perception that is making it seem harder?
Well, you've had experience with this before, so it does sort of feel like it might be your perception of it.
Right.
If I use enhanced awareness again, try
Okay.
to
Could you cut
lead
through
the
a little
way.
bit? Yeah.
Holy shit. 24.
Yeah, I think that you can say, oh, it's this way. I can see
Follow
right which
me.
way to go.
Wait, it
All
does,
right.
yeah.
So if you follow Ingolf, you feel confident that you'll get to that facility. However, after a few more steps in that direction, you hear the elevator come to a stop, and you hear the doors slide open, and now what sound like adult soldiers marching in from some direction. You still think you can get to the control facility first.
We need to keep going.
Yep.
Petra and me will have to take the rear, I guess.
I
for
have
now.
not stopped.
Yep.
Me and
This
Petra
is
will hold
too
the
cool.
rear in case they
Yes.
somehow miraculously
Good idea.
catch up in time. You know, movie magic and all.
Okay. From somewhere you hear a dog bark.
Don't worry, it's the dog I am protecting. We keep it safe. I hide it in my little
As you're
jacket.
now pointing a gun right at it.
Yeah, it's just here.
All right. So you
I'm
move
gonna-
forward. Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna holster my handgun and have a grenade ready because I'm anxious. That's all.
Okay. Well, let's say that as you come up to what appears to be a junction, and Ingolf is telling you that it's just to the right, but you can hear those soldiers coming from the other side. Do you want to do something with your grenade?
You're on mute.
It's a T, and they're coming from the left.
Yeah.
And I mean, watch out! What an uncanny sound effect!
Timing. That was great timing.
You hit the dog. No.
Yeah.
No, I threw the dog. I held the grenade.
Oh,
You actually gave the grenade to the dog and said, "Run, boy."
That
You-
should be
you
an
th-
instant sanity loss, stability loss right there. To be
Yeah. You throw the grenade in the opposite direction, and as you do that, of course, you get a clear shot, a clear vision of what's there. You can see that a number of these Black Beret soldiers, like you saw downstairs, probably at least 10 of them, have gotten off the elevator, have taken a step into the corridor, seen you, quickly pulled their guns as the grenade goes off, ba-boom, and splatters most of them against the walls. It's far enough down away from you that you guys don't get hit by any of the shrapnel or the viscera. But the door is right behind you going into the control room.
Hurry, Ingolf.
I'm going in.
Should I try
Okay.
to keep it together? Was that? I didn't do
I
the
think
soldiers. I
We
think
don't
I-
have to do that every few minutes. You guys know that this is hell. That
Yeah.
This is on the edge of inferno.
keep finding all these damn dogs in here. What the hell?
Andre,
They
are-
are
they are
push
literally
forward with
damn
Ingolf.
dogs
Don't
that
let
are
him.
here.
Don't let him go in
I
first
am with-
alone.
Don't worry, I am right next to him with my dog. Don't worry.
All right. So I would like you to tell me exactly how you go in. I mean, describe it for me. You were at the door. Tell me the story of your demise. I mean, get the story of your going in.
I mean, it's just I'm just concerned about being fired upon by those soldiers, so I'm kind of just shouldering my way so the door like opens.
So Ingolf, you're in front. You're going to.
I was the
he
one
was on
leading the
lead.
way through the maze, so
Yeah,
Okay.
I
was
am
in front.
literally now right behind him, bro, because I have
Okay.
rushed
Yeah,
right
and I am
behind.
like I am ducking. I'm like going in. Like
I've
down.
even got my hand on his shoulder and begun just
Okay. The second that door begins to open and it opens outward towards you, gunfire erupts from inside. They were prepared. They were facing the door.
Okay, so avoid injury. Is that what we're
Yeah.
doing?
oh, shit. Wait, this is unexpected. So technically I can use my lightning fast again.
Avoid harm.
So if I
Is that
can
all
do
of us,
that.
Tom, or just the two?
Oh.
Well, Ingolf's right in the front. What'd you get?
Okay, no.
I
got
got
a-
a 7.
I got a 15. So
Okay.
I am going to use my shoot again, so I get 2, and dodge with Ingolf out the way. Maybe I get hit instead of Ingolf.
Ingolf, you do get hit. But I'll let it be in your, let's say in your leg. So you're hitting the leg and you fall. Andre, you're going to shoot.
Yes.
Okay. What you see when the door is open is a man who must be General Strelkov, dressed in full military regalia, as if he was in some sort of parade that day. He's standing in the center of the room with his arms stretched out. And if any of you have a sort of spiritual vision towards it, you can see that he's the center of that black hole that's sucking the energy out of the air. Completely surrounding him are at least 10 little boys, all of them pointing guns at the door and firing. So
even though I
Andre.
could see them, because I rolled my lightning fast and got 15. Even though I could see them, well, I don't know if it works for 10 people.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
actually, because technically how it's written, it's everyone you can see, but 10 is like theoretically as a trained assassin, yeah, but it's how it's written. But I don't know. It's
a machine gun,
I guess
it
it's a
clip. So.
It does empty my clip. Like I'm out of ammo after.
Okay. Well, you have you can narrate a bit for me, because what you have in front of you is a circle of children that come up to about here, and you have General Strelkov in the middle with his hands outstretched. In the center, he's also a target if you go for it. However, because you have to be completely vulnerable, you'll also have to avoid injury.
Yeah, I know that's part of it anyway. I guess I just go John Wick on them, I guess, but I'm gonna have to endure injury whilst going John Wick on all 10 of them.
I don't avoid harm.
Yeah.
Avoid harm.
Which I don't know if I did. Let me just see. I got a 10, so that is like...
You avoid the worst of it.
You're going to get grazed.
Avoid the worst of it.
Bullets.
But I did get all the kids if we are going by the lightning fast description.
All the ones that you can see.
Yeah. There's pesky kids everywhere.
Are you just aiming at the kids?
Yeah, because I don't think it works on big entities like that. I don't know. So I'll just say the kids for now, because they are the most present threat, as they just shot my wonderful Ingolf and shot me. So.
Then I will also need you, even though you're an assassin, you need to hold it together, because when these kids are hit by your bullets, they go down like a little kid getting hit by your bullets.
It brings flashbacks to me because I don't hold it together. I got an 8. It just keeps bringing flashbacks like before. And
you are, with every bullet that hits every child, you are struck mentally with the horror of the fact that you are gunning down children who are not in their right minds.
I was
who's next? Who's coming up behind through the door? Ingolf, of course, has fallen to the ground.
Right.
I'm gonna roll endure injury to see if I'm still conscious.
Okay. It went into your femur, but obviously it didn't hit the main artery.
I'm probably pushing forward.
7. I have passed out.
Okay. You scream for a second and then you sort of pass out.
Petra, can you pull them back? And I'm like, grenade ready.
As I'm John Wicking around.
I'll try. See if I can grab. If Ingolf's unconscious, I'll definitely grab him first because I see Andre shooting. So I'll reach forward and grab Ingolf to try to drag him back.
All right.
Okay.
So I'll approach behind the madly firing Russian with my grenade poised.
Okay. John, what are you doing?
I'm kind of keeping out of the way because I'm as much of a liability to myself as well as anyone else around me with a gun. So I'm probably going to observe the situation and see if there's anything we're missing.
Okay. Observe the situation.
9 plus 4, 13 plus 1, 14.
14. John, you see that all of this that's going on ahead of you. You're kind of towards the back, so you can't see everything, but you can observe the room you're in, the hell-like landscape or roomscape that's around you. You start to notice 2 other noises. Yeah, I mean, you can hear the alarm going off. One of the noises sounds a little bit hopeful. It sounds like there is gunfire down below somewhere. Possibly your soldiers have moved into the facility. The other noise that you hear, at first you're not sure what it is. It's like a tinkling noise, or it almost
Andre's bullets hitting the floor.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, it sort of has that sort of sound. It sounds kind of like a snare drum, or like the sound of metal on metal. And as you're listening, you realize that coming from the stairwell behind you, and possibly from where the elevator shaft is, are large cockroach-like insects. Lots of them heading in this direction. In fact, you've seen them before.
Let me just quickly get the definition of my phobia. If they're cockroaches, have they got enough legs that they will set me off?
Yeah, I think so, because these are those things that you saw in near the apartment complex that were dragging the man to hell.
Yeah, it's them, right? Okay, definitely that's a roll. Oh, come on. 5 plus 3, 8 plus keep it together is 4, I think. Yep, 4. So 9, 11, 12.
Okay. I'll say that you keep it together mostly. You're terrified, especially since they're coming.
Thankfully, I have endured trauma as well. So even if I was to pick a -1 stability, I take 1 off that. So I lose 0. But that's still enough to make me scream, behind us!
So what's everybody? Andre, what are you doing next? These children fall to the floor as you mow them down.
Yes, well, I'm out of. I don't have any more. I'm down to my sniper rifle now. So
there is something that you notice, however. Oh, go ahead, Dietrich.
I feel like as soon as his automatic silences, I want to sort of yank him by the shoulder and roll the grenade in, because it's, all the bad is in here, and I actually managed to kill some dangerous people, so I'm feeling grenade positive.
yeah, so I will. If he grabs me, I go back as I am reloading the sniper rifle as it just pops down. Okay.
When you roll the grenade in, you pull Andre out. You probably dive for cover rather than stand there at the door and observe.
Right.
There's a few seconds, and there is an explosion. When the explosion goes off, a number of things fly out into the hallway near you, mostly little children's body parts. You hear somebody inside the room call out, in pain, "Ah!" like this. And by then you probably take a look and see what's happened. The general has obviously been injured. He wasn't blown up, but he definitely has injuries on him where the blast hit him. So he can be harmed. You also think from your experience that he may have grown weaker because the children were dead.
Yeah, I'm hopeful, in fact, that the medical torture subjects were part of his food source as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
So maybe, yeah, I've got a string of these things. And there's no other innocents in there.
And I can shoot him if you want. I have my rifle.
Well, so you're looking a little green. We'll just do another one of these first. And probably Petra's going to have pulled Ingolf out, and she can. Yeah. Petra, do you want to take this and throw it better than I can?
Yes, let's do that. I'll assume I've grabbed Ingolf and handed him off to you, Dietrich.
I will go and hug Ingolf's body and be like, "Ingolf, are you okay, my friend?" And I will slap him a little bit.
Check his wound. Check his wound, man.
It will be fine. He'll be fine. He's a strong lad.
I rip off legs, scuttling legs.
I rip off a bit of my jacket and wrap it around his wound.
Actually, none of you hear scuttling little legs, except John.
Ingolf,
Well, I have
What
yells
did you-
behind us.
So Petra, what are you aiming for?
I was lobbing another grenade. If
Lobbing another
Dietrich
grenade.
handed a grenade off to me, I'm throwing another one against 17.
All right. Once again, you guys sort of dive for cover. The explosion goes off. You hear the general call out in pain, and he has slumped over against the wall. You can see that bits of his body have been torn away, and there's almost a mechanical look underneath the places where he's been torn up. He's definitely seriously injured at this point and unable to retaliate in any manner.
I am sick of this. Ingolf, you'll be fine. It might kill me. I walk up to him. I'm literally I want to kick him right in the head as many times as possible. I just want to keep kicking him in the face until there's fucking nothing now.
Okay. Well, as you approach him, he looks up at you and he smiles and he says, "You cannot win. You cannot win." So you start kicking him in the head.
Fucking shut up.
The first time you kick him in the head, it's like kicking a steel ball. So it hurts your foot. But the second time, I mean, you're hitting his jaw, his teeth are coming out and everything else. And after a few more kicks, he stops moving. And then, as you're looking at him, he begins to fade away as if he's disintegrating. And after a few moments, there's nothing but a pile of sort of blackish goo on the floor where he was.
I shoot the goo out of anger.
Okay, you shoot the goo. And then all of the rest of you start to notice something. The room around you seems to transform back into what looks like what would be a rather common looking control room with computer monitors and things like that, except that, of course, it's blasted with blood and gore and everything from the explosion. Things are damaged. The facility behind you does the same thing. That metal grating floor has disappeared. It seems to be tiles. The lights that were flickering are no longer flickering. And there are piles of small children that are dressed up like in the same costume. However, in that moment, as you're looking at these horrible children's bodies, you begin to see something sort of glow, like an inner light. And each little body has a kind of ghostly essence that begins to move out of their bodies and mostly out through their mouths and their nose. It sort of rises into the air like smoke, and you can hear the sound of children's laughter as it fades away into the air. And I think that's a good spot to end it into our upkeep. I think too that we can say that you can, well, we'll just say it now. The facility is now overrun by your guys' troops. They've come up from the bottom, and now everything has changed back to normal. So it's a simple matter of cleaning up. Some of the zombified doctors and scientists that were there revert back to normal, and they don't know what's been going on. So they're more or less taken prisoner. You guys have no trouble getting out of the facility along with the other soldiers. And eventually, at the beginning of the next one, you'll be back with General Sullivanova.
Andre would have said before we left, Andre would have said a Russian prayer for all the deceased children, because he is very distraught because he was like them once and forced to do stuff like.
If there were any, and we can assume that somewhere in the facility there may have been other children like them, they suddenly sort of wake up and have no clue as to where they are or how they got there. They'll be taken care of.
Do any of those bugs manifest?
No, in fact, we can say that the bugs were about to overwhelm you when Strelkov disintegrated and they just sort of faded into the mist.
As eventually I wake up from consciousness, like, are we dead?
Ingolf.
Unfortunately, no.
I've like lost the sleeve of my shirt because I wrapped it around your injury.
And Ingolf is injured enough that he's going to need some recoup time.
Ingolf, I will look at
You're Andre, you're injured, but you have some bullet scrapes going by, nothing serious.
Andre collects scars as a hobby, after all.
Yes, I have many. Ingolf, I will take care of you personally, don't you worry.
Maybe you will enjoy
right.
the vodka he pours on
I prefer a doctor, but thanks.
I am Dr. Vizchenko, you can call me.
Hey, since I've been shot, can I have vodka now?
Of course you can. It is the natural healing medicine.
It's the potatoes.
You can only drink once you get shot. You can't have anything before then.
All right, so upkeep.
Well, we did very nicely on our goals of killing Strelkov and infiltrating the missile base.
Me and their heads. I have killed both of them with head kills.
I think
All
that
right. How about
Petra
those 3
killed
questions?
Strelkov.
Yeah.
Did we learn anything about ourselves? I learned that I was pretty callous about murdering people I didn't know. I haven't really done a lot of killing up till now.
The fact that everybody turned back to normal after this, it does weigh on you very heavily. You theoretically could have killed the general without killing all of the people involved, and they would have gone back to normal.
But I think that the torture victims in the medical wing could not have.
They couldn't have been saved, no.
So I'm gonna do my little Egyptian scale thing there, because these people would have let all those people remain being tortured.
I look at it how the kids would have shot at us. Ingolf could be dead right now. I could be dead if I hesitated.
Yeah, I learned that getting shot in the leg hurts really, really bad. My capacity for pain is immense.
The doctor says to you later, Ingolf, he says, "You are a very, very lucky man." And you're like, how am I lucky?
Yeah.
You could have been shot right in the artery, in which case you would have bled to death before they could have got you out.
Right, so I'm still alive. Lucky.
So you're very lucky.
Lucky, sure. Yeah.
No, you need to stay alive.
That's a good point. I don't want to go where this symbol will take me.
We need to solve that before the sweet release of death can be embraced. Next question.
Have we discovered anything new about the truth?
Just the faculty of Strelkov, like funneling this whole facility into his being and vice versa, is that novel still to us?
What about the people being released from control once we killed Strelkov?
You also learned something about the missiles that they were going to use.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Alchemy.
Yeah, they've got bad magic in them, and we have data to give to Solovinova about that, which is good.
And have we challenged ourselves? No.
I'm going to give you an additional piece of information because we're not going to play out the whole going through the facility and looking in every closet and every door and stuff like
Sure.
that. We'll
What
assume
about
that
filing cabinet 610?
Yeah,
But I wanted
We're
to
still
look
looking
in all
forward
of
to
it.
drawer 3 in filing cabinet 610.
we'll assume that the soldiers who came with you do eventually do all of that, and we'll consider that you're all together in
suite.
that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what Strelkov's initial target was going to be was they're going to try and seize Leningrad.
Mm.
Yeah, that's about right.
So now we all need 2 new objectives. And you have to give us one of them, Tom.
Though we
I
go
need
back to
one.
One? Oh, what did I?
Yeah, I've still got my personal one.
Oh, okay. Okay. Some of us need 2.
Yeah,
I
my
need-
personal one is still in effect as well.
I need to, because a woman with Strelkov and infiltrate.
we 3 killers need 2 more.
Exactly.
We are Russian killers now.
Yes, Dietrich. I will
I am
blood you.
learning.
I will blood you in.
Yours
I will blood
should
you.
definitely be
Improve Russian accent.
Yes.
yes.
I'm not sure if I
Andre
can.
should be let Ingolf drink more. That is, I think that's what Andre's.
No, I'm going to blood you all into the ways of my killing. Except Petra. She's a formidable killer.
I'm not sure how to say this. What my task would be is to unravel for yourselves the course of actions that you should take, not as soldiers in someone's army, but use your own heart to decide what is the right thing to do. Don't let people tell you. I don't know how to word that.
We have to
Work out.
find
We
the
should
right
we should
path.
begin figuring out how
Yeah.
to extricate ourselves from the situation, eh?
Do the right thing, find the right path.
Regain
right
independence.
Find the right path. Is that our objective?
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense. Because we have been pawns and it's not good.
Yes, and I probably still will get killed by the KGB at the end of it. So.
Yeah, well,
Thank you for your service, comrade Vishenko.
we'll get you back
Oh,
to
Svidania.
beautiful free Germany.
At least I didn't run into my ex-wife yet. That is.
We can't go back to
We
Germany.
haven't given you your second objective.
Oh shit.
Reconnect
Reunite
with the
with
ex.
Reunite with ex-wife. She does have my kids after all.
Well, her kids.
Well, that is true.
You're assuming.
So the three of us need a second objective.
Yes.
So Petra and I took very little or relatively little damage from the child murdering. I took none. Petra was deeply shaken at one point. Is that a thing to work with? Do I need to? Well, that's not really a plot move sort of thing.
You should delve into the magic. The alchemy.
Right. I should learn the alchemy of the rockets.
Figure
Absolutely.
out what they were. Yeah.
That's actually really good.
That seems
But
like your
me and you,
research alley.
All roads are leading. Everything seems to be pointing back to Leningrad, right?
Ultimately, yeah.
Petra, you could try to locate where Harcombe is hiding in Leningrad.
Andre actually could probably help me with that as well. The two of us pulling contacts that we have.
As I recall, I think General Selenova says that they know where his thing is near the docks.
Never mind.
but that it's almost impossible to approach.
And we know that they're trying to rebuild that damn orphanage.
Or some version of it. But that might be something that can be researched. What that space is about to become is part of the new Leningrad. Is that viable?
I guess.
Okay.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Investigate
Investigate the
machinations.
Who in power in Leningrad is involved.
Okay.
Is there anybody else we should be aware of?
Well, I can help with that.
All right. Is that everyone then?
Cool. That means I get to come up with a whole bunch of new Russian names for you guys to memorize. All right. Our players included. Here's my line. Our players included Matthew Sanderson, David Gassaway, Holly Buteau, Morgan Llewellyn, and Josh Harwood, with yours truly as the game master. We have a Discord server where you can chat with our other members. You can set up private games. You can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 a month helps us a lot. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows, and leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Riley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the strange and terrifying world of KULT Divinity Lost role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.